Alright, so I recently just watched the trailer for Conjuring 3, Devil Made Me Do It. Now all I'm waiting for is the trailer for Jurassic World Dominion, even though, and I'm not excited for that movie, I still want to kind of see, like, something. But hey, it might just be like Godzilla vs. Kong, where they released a trailer, like, 2 months before or something like that. I mean, like, yeah, it did get hype, but that's only because it's Godzilla vs. Kong. If an actual movie like that just released, like, one trailer, I mean, I guess Space Jam did that, but again, that's a kind of popular film. And point is, yeah, I just recently watched the trailer. And I guess the plot is like there's this dude who hold on, because I know some of the plot. It's like this murder. Well, I guess supposedly like the devil made him commit these murders, or at least one murder. And Lorraine and Warren are trying to figure out the truth behind it, like if there is any truth to his claim. And they do bring up a point about how the court does acknowledge that God does exist. So, I mean, there's got to be a time where they accept the existence of Satan or the devil, which is kind of interesting. And for a little bit, the trailer was kind of cool. There was like this thing with like the waterbed. Um, that was kind of cool. I never understand why people have waterbeds. Like, no, hell no. Like, if that thing broke, I don't want to drown in my sleep or something. Or, I mean, I no. I mean, if a murderer were to came in there, they could just break it and then just slam your face into it. Like, or I don't know. But the point is, I won't have one, but it looks interesting. I mean, the history of the Conjuring movies is kind of interesting. I only saw like an hour of the first one. It was pretty decent. Some jump scares were pretty cool. I know that I think these movies aren't exactly super duper accurate to the real life events, and this one does seem a bit more exaggerated. Although, who knows? It might actually be really close to it, and a lot of it seems to be like a court case movie, I get, or like a decent amount. It's kind of like, I guess, the second season of 13 Reasons Why, like there's a court for a bunch of it. And first, all portion of the trailer was pretty good, but unfortunately, it kind of felt a bit more jump scare. Like the Unholy, decent concept. Movie looks kind of ass. It started coming just like a bunch of jump scares, and there was like this one with like this girl in a weird face, and it was like a loud scream, and then every sign, and they just give us, like the generic kind of creepy stuff in the trailer. And you can already tell this isn't made by the same people who made The Conjuring. Like it's directed by the dude who made The Curse of La Llorona. Um, and the writers who actually is writing it, because I'm seeing like the story, but like there's a difference between the person that came up with the story and the dude who wrote it. Chad Hayes, cool name. Okay, was part of like House of Wax and stuff like that. Did he write The Conjuring too? I'm sorry, I know I'm just like, you could tell it's not made by the same people because it seems a lot less slower. Okay, it was one of the writers. So two of the writers from Conjuring 2 are writing this, so it's possible that could be good. But I don't know. I mean, this one seems a lot more jump scary, and I didn't like that they're giving a bunch of exposition, like, oh, there's this totem that could have cursed you, and I know it's not as bad as like Godzilla versus Kong or something like that, where it's like, oh, there was an ancient battle and there were rivalries, which I actually forget if that was even mentioned in the movie. I think it was probably. Seemed like briefly, but yeah, it just kind of got like a bit jump scary at the end, and there's this whole thing with. There was one cool thing though, where it was like Lorraine was there was like this part near a cliff, and it kept going from like the dark version with like this creepy hand to the normal version you saw at the end where she was like near the edge, and this demon came and jumped at her and grabbed her down. Like obviously she's not going to die. I mean, it could be at the end, but I obviously she's not, because then that would just be completely different from the story. Because I don't think Lorraine Warren died from anything. Actually, let me check what was her cause of death. Well, I know for sure that it takes place in the actual movie's going to take place in 1981, and I believe Lorraine Warren died in um, I believe around like early 2000s. I think after the 80s, because like I believe she was around for some of the promotional material. Like one, I know that she was around for a little bit, but yeah, she definitely died after that. Like let me just look again. Lorraine Warren, yeah, she died in 2006. So I thought that would have been later, but yeah. So we know she's not gonna die, but at least it's kind of a cool cliffhanger, and I like that part where it's going on from like the dark version of the world or something like that to like the regular. It's kind of cool. Um, this does seem more action, like much more bigger, and that does kind of worry me. It's like gonna be try to be extra. It's gonna be like more exaggerated. That's something that Hollywood does, and it does seem a bit more jump scary. And there's like some uh exposition, not as bad as some movies. Probably like I don't know. But, I don't know, I'm not, I don't know how optimistic I am, because I was pretty optimistic for Wrong Turn 7, and that turned out to be a pretty big piece of shit, besides some pretty good acting, cinematography, some great music that honestly almost elevated it from shit to pretty good, actually, or tolerable. But, I mean, it sounds interesting, it's an interesting idea, but I don't know, it just seemed kind of jump scary and like over exaggerated, and it's just, I'm not sure whether or not to be excited. Like, the people that made the first Conjuring, which I saw a decent amount of and I liked it, aren't part of this. Like, yeah, James Wan made the story, but I mean, there's a difference. They usually don't put story by and written by in the same category. They're different categories. It's like, story by could just be the basic story of paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren trying to uncover the truth behind a murderous claim of demonic possession. And there's a difference between just coming up with the story and writing the actual script. So I'm not super duper excited. Um, I haven't seen uh, uh, Crystal Llorona in a while, so yeah. So I don't know. I might have to rewatch that, see whether or not it's good. But I'm not excited. I'm glad that Annabelle isn't in this. I mean, at least in the trailer, because Annabelle's just kind of lame. Like, I mean, she was fine in the beginning of Conjuring, I believe, but that's it. Like, when she had her own movies, I only saw Annabelle Comes Home, which is boring as hell. Literally, the supposed scary parts were more boring than the setup, seriously. Like, just the first 30, 40 minutes with the characters doing stuff is more interesting, I guess. Just because it got so repetitive. But either way, I guess I'm slightly intrigued. A little bit cautiously optimistic. A little bit like cautiously optimistic. I don't know. It could be good. I'm kind of betting this one won't turn out to be as good. I just have a feeling a lot of new movies just aren't that good. And don't give me some bullshit like, oh, our expectations are too high. No, it's just, for some reason, a lot of them aren't that good. They just tend to, like, fall short and have unlikable characters and stuff. But the first Conjuring movie is a rather recent film and is pretty creepy at times. So maybe it'll be good. Maybe the dude has learned from his, I believe, some mistakes that people point out for Christopher La Llorona. But who knows? Maybe it'll be shit. Maybe it'll be good. I'm hoping, obviously, for the latter, like, it's good. But yeah, I'll try and see when it comes out. Who knows? It's coming out early June, so there's that. Yeah, tell me what your thoughts are on this trailer. What do you think? How good do you think the film's gonna be? Um, and yeah, also tell me whether or not I am rambling on a bit too much. I know literally no one ever answers that question because no one ever watches these videos fully. But yeah, hoping to hear you guys' thoughts, and I hope that this movie's good. Yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.